Latoya Violet, Gypsy Roots Tarot and Travel, just like the title says. Every Sunday before I go into the regular tarot, we do words from Jesus and the Archangels. And so today is no different than that. Anything that's smoke, incense. I do have a window open. Hopefully I don't set off an alarm. But it's time for cleansing, and yeah, haven't done this in a long time. So the way I like to start, guys, is that I do give you a tiny bit of taste of tarot just to satisfy those that are not going to come back for the regular tarot reading. But really, it's all about Jesus. We got to give our Creator at least one day out of the week where we glorify Him. Okay? So we're going to do words from Jesus. We're going to do messages from your angels, angel therapy from Doreen Virtue, and then the Archangel Michael deck, okay? Also from Doreen Virtue. I love me some Archangel Michael deck. So let's go and let's see what comes, okay? Hey, Spirit. Any guidance for today for my beautiful Libras? And also, it had been a while since I had a candle in the house, and look at it go. There's no wind, nothing blowing on it. Just Spirit is in the house. The Holy Spirit of God is always with us, and whether you recognize that or not, it really doesn't matter because they're here. The divine is here. All right. Anything you'd like to tell the Libras, along with the words from Jesus that we could use as our gas that is for the week to come, that we all need, especially since things planetary wise just seem to align into harder and harder aspects, and as such we're having a hard time, some of us. So this is just a little bit of Spirit intertwined with you for right now, and really has nothing to do with anybody else but you and Spirit, okay? So whatever comes out, and it's just 10 cards, and I do them really, really fast, and then I get on with it, because again, my whole premise for the first time I come on a Sunday, although the Sabbath itself is sundown Friday night, sundown Saturday night, but we as I guess you could call us Gentiles, for lack of a better term, we don't celebrate the Sabbath that way, okay? Bottom of the deck, 10 of Cups, pretty good. So you get the 4 of Coins, you get the 9 of Coins, and you get the Ace of Coins. Wow. You get the Hierophant and the Strength card. You get the 10 of Coins with the Death card, the Ace of Swords, along with this Queen of Pentacles, and then something goes really, really slow thereafter. So whatever it is coming, enjoy the momentum while it lasts. Why do I say that? Because some of the things that you're experiencing or about to experience, why I have glasses on for a giant deck, don't ask me, is going to take off in a beautiful way, but then it looks like it kind of slows down at the same time, and it might be, there's a lot of reasons it could slow down, okay? But one of the reasons it could slow down is because, and I always like to give this analogy, guys. If you take, for example, should win a lotto, and you've never been in the energy of attracting that much money to you and making it stay and growing it, as easy as it comes, easy as it's gonna go. So sometimes God does have a way of stopping things or making them seem like they're stopped. They're not fully stopped. But this night, we've already talked about last night and during that reading, is that when he comes, it's a sure thing, but it's slow and steady wins the race. You see how my hand is doing? That's because I'm imagining driving a car, and instead of pushing the gas, I feel like Spirit is saying, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. We don't want you to go at neck-breaking speed. Because if you do that, you might lose. You might lose what you're getting. You might lose the essence. You might lose the lesson here. And the lesson is, if it's come hard for you, why would you want to lose it? No. So instead, we've got to learn to live in the energy of the I haves. I'm whole. I'm fruitful. I'm abundant. I'm one with money. Some people go as far, and again, don't shoot the messenger. Some people go as far as saying money is my best friend and I am money's best friend. Why do they do that? Because a lot of times people tell us that money is the root of all evil. That's not true. Early on, I lived very much the life of a pauper. And the reason I did that was because everyone around me kept telling me that if I had this gift, I was supposed to live that way. That's not true. If you have money, resources, abundance, you use what you need for yourself, and you can help so many others as well as you grow, as your monies grow and become stable and strong. So no, that's not true. Don't buy into that. Now, when is it the root of evil? Is when you make it your God. If that's all that's important to you, people suddenly don't matter to you anymore. If you forget to love people, if you forget to let people in because you're so afraid that they're going to steal your money and steal everything from you, then yeah, that's when you get into trouble. So again, if you're not accustomed to having money, then God has to ease you in. So you might get a lump sum of money, or you might get like I said last night, an increase of finances. Whatever it is coming for you, that's wonderful. But don't be afraid if all of a sudden things start to slow down. It's so you can gain your bearings, my dear. Not everybody was born on a ship, for example, or on a boat, even a houseboat. So you're gonna toss your cookies maybe in the beginning, because you got to get your sea legs, right? You've got to gain your balance. Same thing with any changes in your life, even in the positive, you've got to gain your balance. So for that reason, you're going to see a lot of changes in your finances. You're going to have financial security. Again, this is not a one-to-one reading. This is a reading that's a general reading for Libras. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. You go from the 4 of coins automatically to the pre-empress status with the 9 of coins. And then it looks like maybe either another offer or possibility of love. I don't know. But I do know that the Hierophant is here. So it could go either way. It could be in love or it could be in money. You know, it could be both. But they're asking you to have courage. Have courage. What happens to us when we're very young? I can't really put myself into that position as far as like when you're 18 or something, because I left my home at a very young age. Long story, not getting into it. But when you're like 18 years old, 21 years old, and the first time you're leaving home, things can be scary because now you have to get your own place. You got to pay for your own bills. You got to know what bills are. You got to see what your budget is, etc., etc., etc. That's kind of like what God is doing to you right now. The formula has already been written. The formula has already been enacted, meaning trial and error. Yeah, it's going to work. We're going to give them this. However, let's see how they're going to react to it. Let's see how they're going to take care of it. Let's see if they're going to mold it and form it and make it more, or if they're going to automatically end up in the Knight of Coins. So again, be very, very careful with what's coming, because you just never know if this is a task from God. I'm going to give everything, and then all of a sudden, if you cannot take care of it, okay? Just like I hate to use this analogy, but they're telling me to use it. Just like the parents that end up with CPS charges on them, and their children are taken away. Why? Because they can't care for them. I've often said this, and this is my personal view. Not everybody is made to be a parent. Not everyone is. Just because you can pop a child out does not make you a parent. That's why we have lovely people that are adoptive parents that perhaps cannot have more children or any children. Thank God for them. But just because God gives you something doesn't mean it's meant to stay, okay? Because when God gave me money twice over in this lifetime, I said about giving it away. That's how dumb I was. I'm putting myself in the mix. I always do, because I really want you to get the message. I want it to be driven home, and I want you to understand that not everyone has the ability to take on such responsibilities. So God is trying to teach you slowly but surely how to manage what's coming, okay? All right, that's all I'm doing tarot-wise for this particular video, okay, for this live. Let's go on to the words of Jesus, and then we'll get on with the archangels, okay? So again, this is called Loving Words from Jesus. And this is not a Christian channel. I just take from mythology, I take from Christianity, I take from the divine in general. So I don't sit here in judgment of anybody and their religion, okay? This is not a religious channel. This is a metaphysical channel. Okay. Source, what would you like to tell the Libra today? And anybody that happens upon this video. What would you like to share with Libra today, please? And thank you. And we are honored by your presence here. Okay, you're telling me 4. You're telling me 4. Not taking 5, sorry. Make it too long. Okay. All right. Oh my God, pray always. We have expressions, don't we? And I use mine very genetic. Very, I can't speak all of a sudden. Very generically. So when I say God, I'm saying G-A-W-D or G-O-T, okay? Depending on how I'm exclaiming. But those are the exclamations I make. In no way, shape, or form am I diminishing God. And when I say Jesus, I'm not really saying Jesus. It's more like a Z-E-E-Z, okay? So please don't shoot the messenger. But nonetheless, pray always. And this is coming from Luke 21. How beautiful, how beautiful. Can you imagine our Lord just sitting there or standing there stoically in communion with his Father, with our Father? How beautiful. And what a loving example, what a beautiful example he was when he came in the flesh, that even he prayed. Even he prayed. Because when we're in the flesh, I'm sorry to tell you, for those that are strictly Christian, I'm not talking to you right now if you don't believe in this way. Please forgive me. But I'm talking to those that believe in the metaphysics and believe outside of the realm of possibilities, okay? So when you're coming here in human flesh, it's just my belief that approximately 75 to 85% of us are beings of light, and the others are just here as fillers. And that's why when you pass by them, they really don't mean much to you. They may not even have a soul, because they're just here, like in a matrix, okay? You're not meant to meet everybody as you go along. They're just fillers. Just like in a studio audience. You know how they hire them to clap and to laugh and all that? That's what I mean. But the other percentage of beings that are here are beings of light. But when we come down in human form, when we're birthed into humanity, what they call humanity, human life, we don't come down with all of our bells and whistles. Whatever we did or didn't do when we were home, which is wherever Creator is, if you want to call it heaven, so be it, then in that dimension, we have all our gifts intact, okay? Some of us, like myself, are birthed, and these gifts come with you. You don't forget those gifts because you're supposed to bring them forth. And others are supposed to find themselves again, okay? Meaning their gifts are there. We all have some kind of gift, but you gotta find it. It's gotta be worked out of you, like innately. It's something that only you do, and it's specific to you, and it's unique to you. That's why praying is very important, because you have that connection to source. I always talk about that cord, right? And how it can be as small as this or even smaller, right? Because it's about to be severed. When you don't pray, when you don't connect to God, when you don't attempt to maintain that connection, right? Because when we're being birthed, most of us are not born lamas, are not born ascended masters. We become once we're here, because we remember, or because we work our way back into the remembering, the knowing. I say all that to say that he never disconnected himself from source, from God, from creator, from his father. He came in human form, and in human form he left. He never just left the body and said, bye, I'll see y'all. No, his life was taken as a human being when he experienced that of himself, and he left after, okay? Not like, let's say, Enoch, right? That Enoch left while he was still alive. So prayer is extremely important, because the more that you pray, the more that you're connected to God, and the more that your cord stays big, wide, thick, beautiful. And you don't ever have to believe anything I say on this channel. Please go research for yourself. It's in the Bible. There is a silver cord. And when that silver cord is severed, that's when you no longer are inside this human body. You go back in spirit. Your soul disconnects and you go back to where you came from. So again, that's why you always want to pray. You want to be careful. But that's also, it's funny that they're asking me to say all of this, but that's also one of the things that my guru, because I studied for 4 years straight under a guru from India that was in San Antonio, Texas. He moved there. And I studied Hatha Yoga under him. And he would get so angry because I would leave my body. I'm a natural meditator, so I didn't have to study it. I just automatically did it. But his anger towards me was not resentment. Well, not totally. His anger towards me was that I didn't anchor myself first and then leave. And the thing is that I feel so comfortable being in the astral world that I didn't think about it, and nobody ever told me that I had to anchor myself. So that's why some lamas, for those that are into the metaphysics and research or are interested in other religions, that's why the Buddhist monks, that's why they can tell you the day and the hour they're leaving, because all they do is will themselves to leave. Even Sadhguru, which is an Indian teacher, philosopher, saw him an ascendant master, some will, some won't. He literally is the one that's supposedly the master, but when he was married, his wife took her bracelets, her bangles off, and her toe rings off. And she kept telling him she was leaving. And of course, he didn't buy into that, because he was the one that was training all those years. So he never thought that it would be her, right? So one day she decided to do that, and I think he said between 1 or 2 weeks she was gone. She was gone, but she was doing it with joy. So again, when you have that silver cord connection, when you really mean it, when you're connecting to God, and you realize that this is not your home, this is temporary. It's a nice place, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's very enjoyable to be in the body, because you can feel, you can touch, you can express through hugs, right? How you feel about someone, and you can do a lot of things that, well, there's really no need to do when you're in the body of light, right? And that's all you are, is a body of pure light. So, but prayer is what's going to get you that connection. And by prayer, I don't mean like, God, I really want a Ferrari. God, I really want a Corvette. That's not the kind of prayer I'm talking about. But that's between you and your God, okay? Because I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to tell you there is a silver cord, and that cord gets severed. Because once it's severed, you're no longer connected to the human body, and you go back to where you came from, okay? So please do take time in your busy lives, even if it's on your way to work, even if it's on the commode. I'm sorry to say it like that. Even if it's while you're bathing, even while you're cooking. I'm always in prayer. I know that probably doesn't sound like I am to some who would probably beg to differ, but that's not true. I'm constantly in prayer, and I have attributed the fact that I've been in 3 accidents in the last 2 years that could have harmed me very severely. Well, actually, four accidents, and it didn't. I'm still here, and I never had to go one day to the hospital, thank God. But you got to stay connected, okay? So always pray. It says pray always. Luke 21:36. Okay? Next one says, be of good comfort. Your faith has made you whole. I'm going to take this one. Okay? Be of good comfort. Your faith has made you whole. Matthew 9:22. I spent the afternoon driving for DoorDash. Don't ask me how much I made because it was diddly and squat. But I did it happily. I did not know what a sassy being was. I did not know what that was. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It looks like the word essence, but it's not. It's a sassy. That's the way they pronounced it. So a podcast, which lasted about an hour and a half, and then a lecture, which lasted about another hour. And I was like floored at my master, floored at who I call source. When I say source, I mean source of divine, anything divine, source of all things that are good, source of where all good things emanate. And I realized things about myself, and I realized things about Christ. And I have to say, the more that you research, again, not putting you to the side, I'm just saying for those that want to know more, to expand your horizons and want to research for yourself, just think about how God has always existed. God has always existed in some way, shape, form, or another, and through the generations and through the millennia. And it wasn't apparently till 364 AD that people were told they could not worship the Nazarene way. And I find that appalling, but befitting at the same time. It's like, how should I say this? If we're trying to time when Jesus was on the earth, and we're trying to say that he did exist and walk the earth, then that makes sense for them not to want for you to worship the Nazarene way, right? But at the same time, it was like a bittersweet for me to know that when the Bible came into play was when they knocked out the Assassin way. And the Assassin way was the way Jesus taught and the way Jesus believed. And they had all of these Dead Sea Scrolls that they had researched from, both on the podcast as well as the lecture. I believe, don't quote me, I think his name, I know his last name was Nottingham. I think it's Abraham or Abram Nottingham. I'll post it, and I'll get the photo because I snapped a photo and I kept the YouTube as well. I don't know if I can send the link in, but the names of where I got the information. I've always been the kind of person that's been a scholar, meaning I'm not claiming to be a PhD, and I'm not claiming to be the brightest person in the room, but I will always ask questions, and I will always seek for answers outside of myself and outside the norm. If I don't think something is normal, or I don't think something is concise, mean complete, there's some holes missing, then I will always go seeking for that knowledge. And that's all I'm telling you is whatever you believe, go seeking for that knowledge beyond, because God has always existed. God has always existed. So if God has always existed, it ventures to say that he is older than 3,000 years old. And he came before the year 364 AD. And that's where I'll leave it. Okay? So again, Matthew 9:22, be of good comfort. Your faith has made you whole. And I felt that way today when I was listening to those pieces of information given from a theologian and given from a scholar's standpoint, totally different. And I loved it because one of them was a tried and true theologian and still went beyond that and wanted to learn more because he felt there were holes. And the other, as a scholar, just gave the meat and potatoes and the facts. Okay? Have faith in God. Mark 11:22. That is a loaded thing to say. Have faith in God. Because it's easy for me to sit here, right? I know. I'm having a human experience, so I can hear you. It's easy for me to say, have faith. I know that. Victoria Violet, really? For real? You're going to tell us to have faith? Do you know what we're going through? No, sweetheart, I don't. But I can tell you, I've been through hell and high water, and I'm still here. And the only testament I can give to that is that there is a God. And you do have to have faith, even if it is the size of a mustard seed, but you got to have some kind of faith in your God. Because if not, don't pray. What's the use of praying if you're already thinking things are going to fail? And that's the way energy works too. And that's where it comes together. Okay? That's where it comes together. If you're ready, sending out the signals from your body, from your mind, from your whatever happens to me, then that's exactly what you're going to get, because the universe can only give you what you already have, or what you already think you have, or what you keep telling the universe you have. So that's why I always tell my clients, please stop saying you're broke. Please stop saying you're poor, because the universe echoes back to you exactly what it is that you have or that you think you have. So when you're telling yourself you're rich and you're abundant and you're fruitful and all good things come towards you, that's exactly the way things are going to happen, okay? So again, have faith in your God. Don't ask for things and then automatically say, but it's not going to come anyway. Okay? Mark 11:22. Last one says, blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. A little blender. Luke 11:28. To the first speaker, I can't remember his name. I know his first name is Andrew. I believe it's Andrew. Again, Andrew Adapi. I want to say it's Andrew Adapi. Don't ask me how to spell Adapi. I'll try to get it and put it in to the description. But his feeling was the same feeling that I had, which is, no, I don't know why my pyramid keeps falling. Look, it's sitting, look, it's sitting flat. It's already fallen twice, and it's sitting flat. Okay, rose quartz, very good for broken hearts. And it'll tell you when it's done, believe it or not, because it'll turn somewhat this color. It'll turn white. Ask me how I know, and I will tell you. And that's why he started his investigation. That's why he started studying the Book of Enoch and the Dead Sea Scrolls from the Assessees, because of the fact that he felt like there was something missing. And that's him being a theologian, okay? So we're going to the messages of the angels. Messages from the angels. Anything you'd like to tell us, please? Anything you'd like to tell us? A thing to take away from And again, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's almost spelled like the word essence, essessi. Was the fact that a lot of things that Jesus said, you know, the words in red in the Bible, they came from them. The sayings came from them. Anything you'd like to tell us, please? Okay. All right. Sitting here. So Isaiah, it is a good time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life. I am watching over you, guiding you, and protecting you during these changes. And last night we saw a lot of changes, but towards the end over here on the first layer, we saw that there was a great fear that tends to come over the Libra when these changes are trying to occur, even if they were positive changes. And what do I attribute it to is the fact that change can be scary, even if it's good, because it's the what ifs, the unknowns, that we have, like, how should I say, there's particles running through it, but it feels like there's holes. And we have to rely on that it's going to be okay. Again, that faith in action, faith. You have to have faith that God is not going to bring you out into the middle of the ocean just to let you drown, right? The deep waters, that means that you have the ability spiritually, we're talking spiritually, you have the ability to swim, but not swim relying on your own strength. Because if you put me in the middle of an ocean and you tell me to swim and I'm relying on my own strength, I'm going to drown. Why? Because the first thing that I do is I play with my head. And my head tells me, you know you can't do that. What are you thinking about? Why would you do that? Why would you believe you could do that? That's what I'm saying. You have to have faith. When God asked, who was it? I don't know if it was Peter. I can't remember right now. He said, well, you know, I can't remember. I don't like to quote when I can't remember. But Jesus was in the middle of the water, walking on water. He was outside of the boat. And they asked him, Lord, you know, how can you do that? And he said, you can too. That's leading me to another segue. Okay? You can too. So they did. One, I think two got out. One sank. The other one did it. But when he realized what he was doing, he sank to the bottom. And that's the thing, is because we're overanalyzing, we're overthinking, and we're not giving the glory to God, and we're not saying, okay, something greater than myself is causing me to be able to do this, and we're trying to do it on our own. Okay? So Isaiah is asking you to step out even through these changes. Pardon me. They want to close my throat, but it's okay. They don't know I like to talk. So even during these changes, God is guiding you. Know that. Bridget, look at the beautiful light she has there. The incense is not even on, so there's no reason for me. Pardon me. There's no reason for me to be coughing like that. 1 second, guys. My goodness. All right. I have no idea. Okay. So Bridget, caution is warranted. Look deeper into this situation before proceeding further. That could be a situation of something that looks too good to be true. Okay? It's been no good in the past. I would definitely caution before proceeding, because you don't necessarily know if it's going to be good in the present or in the future. And if it's a relationship type of situation, what I can say, whether it's a romantic relationship or whether it's a loving relationship with a relative or a friend, people can behave pretty well for 3 months. People can behave themselves pretty well for 3 months. They can keep up that facade, that put on that mask that they're playing, play acting to, for at least 3 months. But after that, it gets cumbersome for them because their real spirit, their real character wants to come out, is dying to come out, right? Especially if you're expecting them to keep up that facade for a long time. So be careful with people trying to come back, ensuring that you can't know fully of the person, right? We can never fully know a person, but you can know a person well enough to know whether what they're saying or what they're doing towards you is really promoting peace, love, and unity, respect, or if they're just trying to get into your good graces, and then they're going to really show you who they are yet again. Vanessa, to make your decision, ask yourself, which way brings me closer to the divine purpose? Which way takes me away from it? Now, this is an individual thing, and I say that very, very much so. My walk, my path is not yours. So what I just finished telling you about the Assassins, you can take that with a grain of salt, and you can continue with strictly the way that you've learned what God is to you, and just take it with a grain of salt. Or you can take this as a teaching, or you could take this as a motivation to research, etc., etc. We're all individuals. So nothing that people write here, for example, that's another thing that God put onto my heart, is that I cannot be addressing people that come here to preach at me, or that come here to my channel and call me all kinds of things. That's between you and your conscience. If your conscience tells you to call me all kinds of crazy things and to try to preach at me, that's between you and your conscience. I will no longer be fighting with you, but then that takes away from the beauty of the interaction of a live, where I cannot read the beautiful things that my good people that are here for the message I have to bring forth to them. I'm not here as strictly a messenger of Christianity. So if you're here attempting to, let's say, reform me, you're very sadly mistaken, and you're not on the right channel. And that's all I've got to say, because my walk is my walk and your walk is yours. And I don't deny, decline, or abhor your religion and your way. Unless you're a Satanist, unless you're someone who believes in killing in the name of your God for no sense, without any sense, you're not in a war or anything, and you're not trying to protect your family, you're not trying to protect your people or your way of life, and euthanasia type of situation where people are just trying to, how should I say, not euthanasia, forgive me, ethnic cleansing, as you will, if you will. If you're not trying to do crazy things like that, you are welcome here. But don't try to do to me what I would never try to do to you, which is, I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm simply here to talk. We give talks here, to communicate, to give you ideas outside the box, and for those that are ready, metaphysically speaking, spiritually speaking, to know their God and in a greater capacity. Other than that, I will never down your religion. I don't care what religion you have. That's between you, yourself, and your God. Okay? So whatever walk of life you have, whatever you're doing in life, or whomever you happen to be with, what counts is that getting you closer to your end game? What you want? Is it getting you closer to your creator, or is it pulling you away? Because some people can, I don't know, take you out to bars. Some people can take you away from your children and your husband or your wife, and take you out to drink, you know, because people are always willing to get you in trouble. But I know from experience that when I was married and we needed diapers for our children who were in diapers at that time, my husband could go and ask someone for maybe $10 to buy diapers. Yeah, they weren't that expensive in those days. And he'd come back 3 hours later. What happened? Oh, they invited me for a drink. Where are the diapers? Yeah, they didn't have any money. Do you understand what I'm saying? So is what you're doing bringing you closer to your God on your path the way you want it? Or is it taking you and detracting from where you want to go with your God? Okay? Daniel, I am the angel of marriage, and I'm assisting you right now. For those that are having problems with their marriage, maybe this is a sign for you from God that they're hearing you. They hear you. The archangels hear you. The divine hears you. The Spirit of the Lord, the Holy Spirit hears you. God hears you. Christ hears you. Whatever you want to call them, they hear you. Okay? They hear you. For those that are single that want to be married, God hears you too. But know that in both instances, sometimes if it's not right, it's not right. So keep that in mind, okay? That just because you're married, if you're having an extreme amount of problems where people just don't have the meeting of the mind, people are just not equally yoked, or you want to be married and you haven't gotten married, maybe it's because God doesn't see a worthy person for you yet. Okay? So keep that in mind, but you are being heard. You are being heard, okay? All right, let's move forward to Doreen Virtue's Angel Therapy Oracle cards, okay? Okay, God. You know, and the other thing is, I just find it fascinating. I find it fascinating when we find things out about Yeshua, right? The fact that he was light complected. He's depicted a lot. Not light complected. He actually had dark skin as per what things were written about him. And of course, we do have to address the elephant in the room, okay? He wasn't born in December. I believe he was born in June or July during the summer. And during December 25th, that's the solstice. That's the winter solstice. Just saying. All right, let's go. Okay. Sacral chakra. Sacral chakra, you know where that goes. You are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and relationships. So we already went into the relationship portion. Let's go into the items portion. So the other part of listening to the podcast and listening to the lecture was that they spoke about Jesus's probable diet. The Asasis had a diet that was more geared towards vegetarianism, and the only meat substance, if you can call it that, that they may have eaten, at least the Asasis did, was fish. Okay? And so with that said, if you have, like myself, my encouraged me, because starting today I'm going to take in less meats and try to take in more vegetables. Now I'm gonna kind of be funny right now, so bear with me. The bad part about that nobody tells you, because I've tried it before, TMI, I'm sorry, TMI, is when you try to go from being a regular individual to strictly vegetarian, you have a boatload of gas. Let's just put it that way. The flatulence is off the hook, because those vegetables, for some reason, they give you flatulence. At least it's happened to me. So there is a thing called Beano that you can possibly take. It comes in pill form and it comes in liquid as well. I've got to look into that myself. I haven't taken it, but I'm going to look into that, because it's the truth, is that the reason that they were doing this type of dietary intake was due to that they're more live foods and they're not dead foods. And that, in their opinion, as per their research, the reason that the Asasis were eating in such a way is because they feel that through their research and their findings that we were never intended to eat animals, but what we were supposed to do is live in communion with them and eat or have the sustenance from what they produced, such as eggs, milk, things like that. Okay? Just saying, don't shoot the messenger, but that's what they were saying. So I'm going to give it a try because it certainly cannot hurt. So what I'm saying is, if you have found yourself being sluggish, if you found that you're feeling like vitamin or mineral deprived, and maybe you're already taking a one-a-day vitamin, and I'm not a doctor, so please go see your doctor before you do any changes. But look into that, because I'm telling you, it's worth investigating to see if that can possibly help you. A lot of the foods that are processed now, especially our animals, have antibiotics that are given to them and other things. So they change up their natural state anyway. And then the other thing is, especially if they're growing them with the steroids and everything. And have you bought a chicken that looks like a big turkey? That's not normal. Because when you pluck a chicken, it should look small, not huge. Have you bought, like, I'm sorry, Dave's, what is it, Dave's Burgers? I don't know if it's Dave's Chicken. Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry, I went there. Have you ever bought a big old sandwich from places like that? That's not normal. Chickens don't have big breasts the size of a human breast. No, they don't. Okay? They don't have double D breasts. So that's not normal. So think about what you're eating, and if you need to make changes, then make the changes. I know Chick-fil-A is delicious from what I can tell. Not really. I can't stand it. I've never tried Dave's chicken. I'm just saying, if they give you big old chicken like this, two things are happening. One, they're growing them with steroids, or two, that's processed meat that has to be put together with meat glue in order to get them that big. Sorry, do your research. Do your research. Love you. Don't hate me. Change your diet if you need to, because there's people out there that are having food sensitivities. And I'm just saying, but it's also telling you situations, items, or relationships that are harsh. Get rid of them. All right, next one. Oh my God. I didn't even look down. Look what it says. Vegetarian. It says vegetarian or vegan. Wow. Okay. Fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. So again, now I'm not going to talk to the people that have a A1C that's above 7. Now I'm talking to the people that are actually here to elevate. You know that you're having a human experience, and you know that you don't have a choice but to have the human experience. You're in school. You realize that, like I do. So in order to elevate, you're going to have to eat more foods that are alive. And in order to do that, I'm sorry, my friends, that means more vegetables and more fruits. But learning when to eat those is best. Then the other thing that the talk was stating is to eat the fruits and vegetables in their season. Which reminds me, Ayurvedic medicine or Ayurvedic cooking, look that up. It's a Hindu, Indian type of cooking, which I need to get back into myself. I need to learn to cook more meals with vegetables and fruits, mangoes. I'm just telling you. So nonetheless, if it's time to try, and this is not for everyone, so everyone don't go changing your diet, because Victoria said, remember, I'm here as advice. Go talk to your doctor. But if you're here to elevate and you want to connect more, you want that silver cord to be stronger and bigger and thicker, then you're going to need to get into a crystalline state. And you're not able to get into that with dense foods, and meats can keep you down. Lentils and things like that are going to be your best bet. But don't listen to me. Do your research. Do your research. But I can't make it up, guys. I hadn't even looked down, and it said vegetarian. Okay. This one says twin flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. So I do feel, because the cards have been showing, and let's see what our other reading says when we get to it in about, I don't know, another 15 minutes or so. But it is saying that you already have a twin flame. You already have a twin flame, or a twin flame possibility of one coming. Okay. So that means that you've either been praying or it's time. And I did a video, and everybody thought it was kind of like, some people thought it was cool, and some people thought she's weird. I can be both, and I don't care. But the point I was trying to make with that video, and it was a special effects video that it was a short, it was only a minute long, was I took myself and I put that effect on my face because I wasn't what mattered. The message was what mattered. And the message was, it's almost time. And I'm sorry to say, it's time. It's not almost time, it's time. Whatever we're here to do, whatever we're going to do with our significant others, as far as twin flames are concerned, who have a soul contract with us, it's time. So either they're going to start finding you faster, you're going to start meeting people faster that you connect, and you have that knowing, or you're just doomed never to connect in that way, and you're going to have to deal with one of two things happening. One, you go on your journey and your mission, and you just do what you do. Do as much as you came here to do, get as much done, and graduate without them. Sorry, not everybody is meant to wake up. I said, and I'll say it again, some of us come with our gifts intact, some of us are dormant, and that you can't help. If your twin flame is asleep at the wheel, so to speak, and refuses to wake up, there's nothing you can do. You cannot do anything. You just have to let go. Eventually, you have to let go. And you can ask God for another mate, which won't be a twin flame, or maybe they will. They might be a displaced twin flame, which means someone that also has a twin here, that also their twin is not awakening. And that's a sad truth, but it happens. It happens more than you know, because I'm experiencing that myself. So all you can do, if you choose to stay alone, then just know that your mission is more than started, and now we're in the thick of it. We're starting to see so much more, and the gloves are off. The innocence, killing of our innocence, where our children are concerned, is very, very high in demand, because remember, my dears, they don't want you if you're already in the world and of the world. What they really want is the children, because the children are still innocent. So they're going to get them younger and younger and younger. So if you are a light worker, if you are someone who calls themselves the chosen one, what are you waiting for? Please get in and start the fight. Thanks. Okay. Solar plexus, solar plex chakra. So right in here, right below your belly button, right there. Some of us, our belly buttons are pretty high. Just saying, more or less, okay? It is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. Okay? Whatever it's going to be, whatever is that's going to be in your life, you need to be a co-creator, and you need to take responsibility. It's not meant to sound like a lecture, but instead a challenge, because we are co-creators. If we were not meant to be co-creators, why would God put, I don't know, things into our heads like, yeah, why don't you write this beautiful poem or song or piece of music? Or why don't you become an architect? You love to see beautiful old buildings. Become an architect. You understand what I'm saying? Become a rancher. Because you like to help people, you like to produce things with your hands. Why don't you become a gardener? Because you like to see them, you know, the plants sprouting from their roots and then becoming either food source or something beautiful for us to smell, to wear. I wore perfume today for the first time in like, I don't know, 6 months. I smell good. And it's all for people that are botanists, gardeners, people that grow things. You never know, but your gift can be of some use to the earth and to the populace. You just do you, but don't be afraid to get in there and be a co-creator. If you've been wanting to write a book for the longest time, guilty. You know, even if you need a ghostwriter because you've got everything inside of you, but you just don't know how to put it together, there's no reason why you can't use a ghostwriter. It's your story and it's coming from the inside. So part of you onto the page does not necessarily mean that you have to be the one that does all the editing or anything like that. Look how God used Moses. Moses apparently, well, stumbled over his words a lot more than I do during Mercury retrograde. That's why Aaron was there too. And did you know that Aaron and his wife also had the same gift as Moses to a certain extent? So stop and think about it. If you need a little help in something, I am not techie. I'm not techie, girl. No, I'm not. I wish I were. I don't know how I had 2 males, 2 sons. One a computer programmer and the other one, oh my God. So they're phenomenal. I don't know how they came out of me though. I break computers. I don't know how to write code. But you understand, everybody's got a job and for everyone there's a job. It doesn't matter, but be a co-creator. Get in there. Roll up your sleeves. Get your hands dirty. Get your hands into the dirt and do the work. It doesn't matter what other people want for you. I keep telling you guys, it only matters what you want for you. And you know what? I'm going to tell you another secret, okay? People through my life would always say, you're a dreamer. You need to put your feet on the floor, blah, 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 blah. No, you don't. If it makes sense and if it's going to get you somewhere in life and you're going to be better seated, especially financially and stable, do it. Why do I say that? Because people are afraid to dream. So, of course, they're going to tell you to convince you not to dream. Because don't you understand, you're hiring the goalpost for them. And then they're going to have to, you know, start dreaming too. They're going to have to start wanting something better for themselves too. So remember that. They want to keep you small because they're small. They don't see how it could happen. But you, with a plan and with God first and pray, pray, pray always, that's the plan. And you're going to see that if it's meant for you, whatever's meant for you will never pass you by. Okay? All right. Archangel Michael. Now, with these cards from Archangel Michael, this is where it gets interesting, guys, because these are actual prayers. So whatever comes out, if it's something that matches what you're going through, or you know someone that could use this prayer, then just say that prayer for them. Be a friend, be a good, you know, relative. If it's for yourself, pray along. I will pause. Okay, Archangel Michael, is there anything that you'd like to tell us, share with us, or any words of wisdom for today? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. The other thing that they said that was really, really something that I never considered, and the reason I never considered it is because I had to raise 2 children on my own. Yes, I was married, but we don't get married to get divorced. It happens. So, of course, being a single parent, things were expensive. So, you know, you do leftovers. But the other thing that we're saying is that the Asasis were not people that believed in leftovers. They only took food out, and if that food was wow, how great is God? 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's what I've been doing. That they only took it out, and if within a couple of days, within 2 days or so, if they didn't use it, they had to throw it out. And the thing that they were remarking is that that's exactly the way people from India do it. And I know that with the people that I've been associated from India, that's exactly true. And the other thing was, people from India look for farms or places like that because they rather have you kill a live chicken that's not store-bought from a store that's been frozen. They rather have something that's, that's fresh. I'm just saying, okay? So let's start. Okay, the first prayer here from Archangel Michael, healing energy work, and that's exactly what they were talking about as well. So before I read this, they were saying that the Asasis were healers and they tapped into the natural world. And so I'm going to stop calling myself a pagan. Instead, I'm going to say that I'm fashioning myself after the Asasi faith or spiritual walk, because they taught that there were angels and that those angels were of the elementals and that you would tap into them, and that's how you had the ability to do things. So now we know why Christ would do things, especially the laying of the hands. That was very much an Asasi type of how should I say, I guess you could say something they did and believed in. Okay, all right. Healing energy work. Thank you for sending healing energy. We're talking to Archangel Michael. Thank you for sending healing energy to me and through me for my own blessing and for all those around me. Thank you for connecting me to loving and high integrity healers and teachers of energy healing modalities. So I'm going to pause here for a minute. For those that are looking for healers, ascended masters, ask God now. If you're trying to become an ascended master, ask God now. So the other thing that we're saying is that they were teachers, and they were teachers of this particular spiritual walk, and nobody messed with them. Not the rulers of the day, not the Romans, nobody messed with them because they were so kind to everyone. They said that the Asasis were the ones that would be called in when the rulers would get sick because they were really well-known healers. They worked with herbs and they worked with the natural world. So my point here, guys, and not to slide, my point here, guys, is that, again, I'm telling you, I was born with the gift of healing. I was born with the gift of sight, the knowing. I did not have to pick up cards in order to do this. So my point is that some people, God just makes us that way. And that doesn't mean that we're any more right or wrong than anybody else. It's just natural. So we need to stop being little bossy bear judges against other people. We're not mutants, my goodness. We just happen to be born different. All right. The next one says, use your imagination and you'll see the answers. My prayer. Dear God, thank you for granting me the wisdom and creativity to see your miracles in new and unexpected ways. I gratefully and gracefully accept and appreciate your help in this situation. Name your situation. I will pause. Right, guys? The next one says, pay attention to your dreams. I had the weirdest dream the other day. I mean, I'm guessing it was a vision of sorts. My vision was, it was a puppy dog, but it was so beautiful, but he was so dirty. He was so dirty. And he had leaves and mud that was caked onto him and other things I won't mention. And he looked horrible. You know, when dogs look like that, you're like, do they have something I don't want, right? I took him in and I bathed him. And then he was doing other things which were weird. But when I bathed him, he kept switching from a puppy dog to a little boy. It was so beautiful. And dogs mean loyalty, especially if they're puppies. And then, of course, little boys, well, that is a youth. It's new life. So it's gorgeous. The dream was beautiful. But it was hard washing him. He didn't want to be washed. In between showing me his dog form and then his human form. And I was like, oh, he felt like he was my child. It was so beautiful, guys. So please, those that believe in dreams, write your dreams down and go investigate them. I still got to write my book. Yep. So again, guys, I'll take everything to heart that I say here on my channel, and I always put myself in the mix as well. All right, pay attention to your dreams. My prayer. Thank you for tucking me into bed tonight and helping me enjoy a wonderful, restful night. Archangel Michael, I invite you into my dreams as my teacher, my guide, and my healer. Please allow me to understand this. Whatever it is, maybe you already had a dream. Maybe something's going on in your life. You need to understand it. You need some direction on a spiritual level and give me guidance. So name whatever it is and ask for guidance. Okay, and the last one, oh my. The last one from Archangel Michael, let go of fear. I just said that at the beginning of this reading. I said that last night. Let go of fear, says now. Let go of fear now. My prayer, of your guidance. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. So remember what I said in the beginning, and then I'll be quiet so you can pray. When we believe that everything we're doing, it's only us that's making it happen, that's when we go wrong. When we understand that we're co-creators, yes, we can make things happen through God's will and through God's mercy and through God's divine guidance and protection, then we're doing it through God. So it's easier, it flows easier. But when we're trying to do it on our own, yeah, it creates fear. Because, you know, before I learned how to ride a bike, my freaking sister broke my gosh darn leg. Why? Because she let go. And when she let go, I was in such panic that all I could think of was, oh my God, she let me go, she let me go, she let me go. So of course I fell, the bike fell on my leg, and voila, I ended up with a broken leg. The point is, we have to learn to walk on water. But the only way we can walk on water is through our faith in our God. We can be co-creators. We can do what He does. That's why I don't buy into, oh, you need to stop doing this, that, and the other. No, not if it's a natural thing. If it comes to you naturally, no. If you and read satanic type books to give you something, some kind of power, if you have to kill something or someone to give you power, then that is not a natural thing. So I'm going to stop here. Pray for this fear to be gone now, because the spirit of fear is demonic. The spirit of fear does not come from God. So pray for that to be released here and now. Okay, guys, this has been your reading for today as far as our Sunday reading is concerned with words from Jesus. I hope that you have gleaned some kind of gold nuggets that can help you in life, any decision making, direction that you lacked, or inner strength and resolve. Okay, change can be scary, but it can also be very beautiful if you happen to allow it to unfold in a natural state. Okay, and the other thing is, put some gas in that tank for the rest of the week. So that's why I do this on Sunday, because if it gives you some kind of advice that you could use for the rest of the week, then so be it. Let go, let God, be blessed. May the work of your hands always have blessings, and may you always have food on your table, a roof over your head, safety and protection, and may the light of God always permeate your soul, your spirit, and your heart. 70 times 7, so that's why I'm not reading anything, because I'm not going to give in. I love you. It doesn't matter if you don't love me back, because he who is in me is bigger than he is who is in this world. Bye, guys, and I'll see you in about, I guess, 30 minutes. Give me time to cook, and I'll be back with our regular reading. Bye.